Hi, welcome back. Guys, Arknights Endfield 1.2 sucks actually, because they didn't change the gacha system and they didn't kneel to every single one of our demands. Quality of life, teasing amazing new characters, teasing one of the best game modes in gacha history. Huh? What? No, I'm just a gambling addict, and if the spark doesn't carry over, the game f***ing sucks and it should die. What? It's mathematically better than every other major gacha game, but it feels bad. Jokes aside, for like the third time, I didn't want to make a video like this again, but it got views last time and a really positive reaction, so what the hell. I'm a hypergrift and a hyperglazer. The hate towards Arknights Endfield has only reignited and gotten worse after the 1.2 livestream. While most of us are extremely hyped, there's a subset of people who are mega angry that they didn't change the gacha system, and that's basically about the biggest issue. There's other small complete non-issues, like some people thinking the gears are power creeping other gears when that's just not the case. They just have completely different effects and uses, and other people complaining about them teasing quality of life fixes. I honestly don't know why I was being optimistic about the community reaction to the 1.2 livestream. I mean, maybe because anybody who's ever played Arknights, or anybody who's actually interested in seeing Endfield become a good game, is really excited about both 1.2 only having Zhuangfangyi and thus bringing more opportunities to save, and is also excited about future versions having 3 of the coolest looking characters in the game, and is also excited about the biggest news in the game's history, which is that contingency contract is actually coming to Endfield. Obviously, it's not only okay to express dissatisfaction with a game's state, but it's actively encouraged by especially me who, if there's something wrong with any of my favorite games, I'll speak up about it until it's hopeless and then I will quit. My real issue here isn't people complaining, it's people exaggerating every little issue, complaining about things that will never change like the gacha system, and either being extremely impatient or flat out refusing to see any of the improvements the game is making, and also calling 1.2 a filler patch when it clearly isn't. It's also people who are just mindlessly hating because it's Arknights Endfield. Now let me defend my billion-dollar company real quick here. So now with the new announcements, the only thing missing now that would genuinely make Endfield very close to being as good as Arknights is the long history of incredible stories and modes like Annihilation and integrated strategies. Yeah, we basically only crossed contingency contract off the list, but not everything happens overnight. So first off, believe it or not, we don't need the gacha system to change. I don't want to talk about this for like the billionth time because it has become extremely boring, but while it's totally fine to still want a gacha system to change because of any aspect, and again, you're more than encouraged to give your feedback to the devs, if you think the game is dog and terrible and it's gonna EOS in 2 weeks because the gacha system is bad, you're just a gacha addict, larper, and grifter. Or you're just hating for the sake of hating Endfield and getting views for it. Not only do I think this gacha system is good, and not only do I prefer it to every other major gacha game, but a gacha system in the end still doesn't make or break a game. Look at Fate Grand Order. As bad of a gacha system as it has, it's still an incredible gacha game for many reasons. A good gacha game can still make a great game even better, and while I would make a couple changes like making the spark a real spark rather than a pity that doesn't carry over, in the end, it doesn't really matter that much because the only purpose that would serve is making dupes easier to get, and dupes in Endfield aren't even worth getting for anyone, especially F2P players. If you don't like the game's gacha system, either just accept it, keep coping that it'll never ever have any meaningful change, or quit the game. I'm being extremely genuine when I say that. I've always talked about never telling people to just quit the game when they don't like something, but at this point, whenever I see someone still hating on the gacha system, I just groan. If you think you can still enjoy the game despite the spark not carrying over, then just save 120 pulls each time and I promise you'll get a lot of characters. If you can't help but build pity like an addict and you think that'll affect your gameplay, go play any game where 50/50s have a guarantee which carries over between banners, and for the 100th time, most arguments against the pity not carrying over are literally just, I can't build pity, which is not fun in a gacha system. Arknights Endfield players are not exaggerating when they tell you many of the people complaining about this are genuine gacha addicts. Now, calling 1.2 dogshit when the game has objectively become better and better with each update is really dumb. The 1.0 story sucked, we all know that. The game lacked a lot of quality of life, we all know that. And there were barely any proper events to speak of. 1.1 made a better story, it gave us a couple of events that yes were still not very fun but fine, and it also had the best Honorable Monument iteration yet, which in my opinion was super fun. 1.1's only real issue is that the pull income was very low, and that's something they spoke about fixing in the game's radar interview, which was also the most clickbaited interview in the history of gacha gaming, by the way. We don't know how much pull income 1.2 will have, however, over 1.1 we have more events, one more map, more opportunities for stock redistribution upgrades, 6 Umbral Monument stages instead of 3, and 2 new Edge Space salvage zones instead of just 1. And the quality of life has become even better. They addressed some of the biggest concerns of the player base in this update and future updates, and they gave everybody a free monthly pass. But yeah, it's dog, right? Imagine you have to play the game to claim the pulls. Ew, the devs must be desperate. The story in 1.2 looks to be pretty exciting as well, but it's also very annoying how they keep spoiling the story in the live streams. Just stop it, we don't need to know the story from the live stream. I don't want to know that Ardashir appeared in the Marker Stone area. Just show him in the trailer and I'll know he's involved. Stop spoiling your own goddamn stories. This is like the only proper issue I have with the 1.2 livestream. Why the hell do they keep spoiling their stories? Forget Endfield not having a league culture like other games. Hypergriff themselves are the league culture. Now Reddit is one of the worst places to go on for Arknights Endfield content. Reddit's always been a place that hated Arknights for zero real reason, and with Endfield it's only gone worse. Any post that glazes the stream gets downvoted to oblivion, and any post that does the opposite gets the opposite. It's a real echo chamber in there, because everywhere else that isn't Reddit you'll see most people actually praising the game and the live stream, and the biggest reason for which is all the quality of life, only one new 6-star and contingency contract. I promise you, you can instantly tell who's a larper / grifter by their reaction to the contingency contract reveal. If they don't agree that this is one of the biggest reveals in the game's history, or at least if they don't know what contingency contract is, they don't at least see everyone hyped up and ask around, they are someone who does not want Endfield to get better. They are someone there for grifting and having a superiority complex that only their game is good. As I've always said, sure the game isn't perfect, but honestly, expecting everything to get fixed in one patch is kinda crazy, when 1.2 is a clear improvement in the game and the devs are actively listening about so many issues. Claiming the 1.2 livestream and 1.2 itself are terrible is genuinely greedy at this point, and no, it's not a filler patch because it not only has a very important story quest, but also because it has a lot of events and new maps and factory content. If you don't see the value in what 1.2 is adding and everything teased for future versions, then you're not here to play Endfield. I've always been a complainer and criticizer of games my entire life, and I've quit games for disappointing me many times before. And while I am a hyper-glazing hyper-grifter, let me reiterate that Arknights Endfield is not only not doing bad, not only doing fine, not only doing good, but it is doing amazingly well. There are still so many things that it needs to change and add, like giving us a weekly Annihilation-esque mode, giving us more endgame content ported over from Arknights, and giving us more standard pulls and arsenal tickets. It's not like the game is absolutely screwed and the devs are stubborn and aren't listening to anything we're saying. The clear improvement the game is showing is enough for me to praise and glaze Arknights Endfield's current situation, and if you don't agree, you should honestly just quit the game until something brings you back. It's not all going to happen in a fortnight, and what's being currently shown is more than enough to keep me playing and keep me optimistic. The content in other games, again, you know which one I'm talking about, can't be so bad that you need to attack other games to feel better about your game. This has been my Gacha Talk. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Train Discord server for a fun and lovely community to hang out with. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.